write-ins for Parker.
So you need those, or can you just?
I thought it was,
I don't know.
10, but you still had to have 10.
Yeah, well, I don't think anyone had tech.
Awesome, all right. All right, folks, we're at 6 o'clock, so everybody ready to get started? All right, let's go then. Salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A moment of silence. All right, ma'am, will you call the roll, please?
Carrie Arnold West, here. Megan Dreher, here. Jen Pike,
Here.
Diane Page,
Here.
Tori Sherman,
Here.
Mean Stone, here. Kelly Terwilliger,
Here.
Mark Patel.
Here.
All right, great. So we have everybody here, and some are virtual, some are with us, so we will move on. Did everybody have an opportunity to read and review the minutes for October 18th voting meeting and the November 8th workshop? Are there any additions or corrections?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Aye. Oh, sorry, girls. Okay, that was an aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. All right. I'm gonna say we don't have public participation this evening. Just a wild guess there. All right, presentations. So originally, Coach Irwin was supposed to come this evening, but it's been moved now to the December agenda. So you all will hear from them regarding the baseball tournament in December. Okay. We have no other presentations, correct? All right, excellent. Board concerns, do we have any? Well, we're just gonna move right along then. All right, consent agenda. Are there any items on the consent agenda that somebody would like to pull up to discuss separately? Okay, if not, would somebody make a motion?
Make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Aye. Oh, sorry, Kelly, I keep forgetting. I'll slow down. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Finance and purchase. Mr. Bertel, would you like to do your last official duty as treasurer?
Yes, I would.
Okay, perfect.
First of all, I'd like to lump rows A through E together and make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded through items A through E. Are there any, is there any discussion regarding these? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Item F, our cafeteria report.
I'm not gonna go over everything that I've attached to your agenda, but we're still struggling with supply. We still have the case caps from US Foods. And we were just notified that we will again not be receiving a food truck next Wednesday. So I'm very thankful that Maple Vale, another vendor, has stepped up to pick up anything that we may not be able to get from US Foods. My only concern there is that all of our commodity and kickback goes from USDA to US Foods. So we're not getting that kickback or that price reduction that we would be from US Foods to Maple Vale. But it's very nice to not have to worry about if I can or if I cannot get what we need for the kids. We received another notification for fluid milk. They're stating that there may be a shortage on that. We had not seen any of that until today. And we've been notified that the lactate that we normally get, we cannot get anymore. There is another one, but it's fresh, which means it's not gonna last as long. We have to order that in a case of 25, and it will not last as long. So with the 4 to 8 that we need a week, we're a little concerned about how that's going to work out there. When I said we didn't get an order for the 24th, US Foods only increased our case caps by 15%. So we're still struggling greatly with getting what we need and then having on hand it to order even if we did need it. I attended the food service orientation in Harrisburg last month and found out that the state has decided that you cannot back count your meals at breakfast. So if you know you made 200 sandwiches and you have 190 left, you cannot say that you served 190. So we've had to step a cashier. So Robin is now preparing breakfast, Tony's preparing breakfast, and then they're having the seat and cashier put in the students' numbers as well as trying to serve. And we're hoping that we find a way to do this very efficiently with one person. We had a temporary sub in this month so that the kids learn their numbers because we have a kindergarten, first and second grade class who've never used a lunch number. So we're hoping that once they get into the routine of that Robin will be able to step in and do that on her own. We had a temporary sub in to do that. She is now out for at least the rest of the week, but we did have another sub that can come in for a few days and then we'll cover with staff from there. So if I can just keep everybody healthy and get the food we need, everything will be great.
Are other schools having these issues too?
Yes, everybody that uses US Foods right now, I'm not 100% certain. We're being told it's the truck drivers are saying it's the warehouse. The truck drivers are telling us that they don't understand why we have a case cap at all, since they're running back at 100% capacity. So we really don't 100% know, but we were told 4 weeks ago that our caps would increase by 5 per building each week. We've not seen an increase at all. And right now we're running on about 50 to 65% of what we need per week that we can get from US Foods. But this is our second week, not in a row, but our second week this school year where they notified us that they're just not coming.
Stacey, do you have any clue, like you said that the kickbacks come back through US Foods, correct?
Correct.
Do you have any idea what that's costing us?
I would have to sit down and look, but I was telling Dr. McGibbon and Corey, another problem we're having right now is we're not getting our USDA commodity boxes. And what they are offering is a very limited selection. For USDA, we can only pick from what they offer us, but as of this year, we haven't received any more cheese. We just now got our eggs. And I was saying, like, with the cheese, you know, we're probably paying between $50 and $61 for a box of cheese right now. When I get that from USDA as the government box, it's $5.75. So if that gives you any idea, right, what this is doing to what this has done to the budget. It was the same way with the eggs. You know, anything that we get from USDA in a large brown box runs, you know, $5.75. When we can't get it from them and we're not getting those quantities from USDA, then at least we were able to get from US Foods, where some of our cheese goes for pizza, your flour and that type of thing. But when we can't get everything we need to order through US Foods because they're limiting what we can order, we're also losing that discount that we get when we order those items. So I'm trying to be very careful when I do go in and order through US Foods that I'm ordering everything I can that I know that we get that discount on.
Right.
And trying to keep all the paper, the disposables, and that type of stuff through Maple Vale. It's just a short supply and short trucks and short distributors and getting the things here. So, and Maple Vale came through me because Becky Hammerdiner contacted them in Clarion.
Right.
So it's not a unique situation in Harrisburg. We're all having the same problem.
Thank you. Item G, consideration to approve extending the seamless summer option, SSO, and the summer food service program, SFSP, through June 30th, 2022. So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
I did want to say in Harrisburg, it sounds like this will be the end the last year for SSO. And they weren't 100% definite on it, but the way that the reps from PDE that were there were talking, it sounds like this will be it.
June 30th, that will be
Correct. And then we'll be back to our normal.
okay. Any other questions or need any further clarification from Stacy? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Item H, consideration to approve the Magellan Employer Assistance Program, EAP, at an annual cost of $3,144, which includes 5 sessions per year for full-time employees and their family as attached. So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. All right, personnel. Carrie, will you take that, please?
Sure. Letter A, consideration to approve the school police officer job description dated November 15th, 2021, as attached. So moved. Second.
I think Diane did,
Okay,
but
that's
that's okay.
I know I'm sitting beside her.
It's all right.
All right, is there any discussion about the job description? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Letter B, consideration to approve the request from Bobby McGarvey upon receipt of all appropriate documentation to be a volunteer with the varsity cheerleading team for the 2021-2022 school year. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Letter C, consideration to retroactively approve hiring Stacy Fox as the head varsity cheerleading coach for the 2021-2022 school year at a supplemental salary of $3,123. All required paperwork is on file in the district office. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Stacy wants us to continue to post this position. If we found somebody else, she'd gladly step aside.
She gladly move along. All right. All right. Anybody else? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Letter D, consideration to retroactively approve the request from employee number 338 to use Thursday, October 7th, 2021, and Monday, October 11th, 2021 as unpaid leave. So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Letter E, consideration to approve advertising for a temporary grant-funded mathematics coach for the junior-senior high school. This position requires a Pennsylvania certificate for mathematics in grades 7 through 12. So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Will that just be internally initially, David?
Yeah, we'll post it, we're gonna miss the December board meeting anyway, so we'll post it internally and go external with that. I'm concerned about finding somebody properly certified to fill this position or even one internal. So we do have this in the ESSER grant for the remaining portion of the 21-22 school year, and then also for the entire 22-23 school year.
Okay. Well, it might be a good time only because of December graduations, maybe.
Great.
I did have one question. I just wanted to clarify this, that for this math coach position, this math coach is going to be for any student, not just those that fit into those, that the special ed department or those kinds of things. It's for all students.
That's correct.
Okay.
I did see, we did have some interest from within. So what we're doing down here at the elementary is Trevor's working with not only the students, but also the teachers. For example, I went by third grade and he was presenting a lesson, and then he met with the entire third grade teachers afterwards and explained why the students were being provided with the opportunity to walk through the problem solving process. So it's kind of a dual aspect, and it'll be district, school life.
Good. Okay. I just wanted to clarify that. So, any other questions? All right. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Great. Will you do instructional services?
Sure, elementary report, Lori, are you on the phone?
I'm here. Are you here? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So I wanted to start with, since winter sports are coming into season, our elementary basketball program will be back after a hiatus due to COVID last year. The information about registering for the boys elementary basketball program was sent home on November 4th. Coach McGarvey plans to run the program from December 4th to February 5th on Saturdays. The 3rd and 4th grade boys will be from 10 to 11, and the 5th and 6th grade boys will be from 11 to 12, and both of those groups will meet in the high school gymnasium. Coach Gibson plans to hold the elementary girls basketball program in the elementary gym beginning in January and running for approximately 8 weeks, but his exact dates and times are not yet set. He is currently working on a girls basketball open house with Dave Sherman, the AD, and he wants to do that prior to the start of the program to try and generate some interest in the program and distribute information. This past Friday, November 12th, I was privileged to hold our Superstar Luncheon for Q1 in our cafeteria. I had 8 students who had lunch with me for being recognized as superstars. You can see pictures of that event and who the students are on our Facebook page. But I wanted to also thank Stacey Redding and her staff for the extra special meal for the students and myself. Everything was wonderful. The kids got to have an hour-long lunch, and we all had a great time. And lastly, I have some PTO news. Due to a couple officer resignations, we have some new PTO officers. And these are interim officers until they have their next election this year. And those officers are Missy Smith and Stephanie Master as our co-presidents, Lila Jenkins and Jamie Eiler as our co-vice presidents, Natasha Gribble and Amber Sanders as our co-secretaries, and Crystal Long and Tina Minnick as our co-treasurers. I really thank all these ladies for stepping up. The PTO does really wonderful things for us, and it's completely voluntary, and they put in a lot of time and effort to do some extra special things for our kids. So I appreciate their efforts. Some upcoming events that they have on November 18th, they'll be using the cafeteria in the afternoon to sort and distribute items from their fall fundraiser. And along with that fall fundraiser, the students have a reward day on November 24th. The top sellers from that fundraiser will be throwing a pie in the face of Officer Sittler, and all the sellers who met the goal amount will have a silly string battle with me. They are also planning to have their campus shop, which was on hiatus last year due to COVID, but they're bringing that back this year from December 6th to the 10th, and are hoping to have their annual gift basket raffle at the elementary Christmas concert on, I believe, December 10th is our concert, I believe. So they have a lot of things going on. It's great that our PTO is back in full swing and able to do those things for us. And that's all I have for this evening.
Great, thank you. Secondary reports, Dr. Jordan.
I would like to begin by publicly recognizing Mrs. White and a number of students and staff that participated in the Veterans Day virtual assembly. I think, despite the fact that it was done virtually this year, they did a fantastic job. And the amount of work that they put into it clearly showed off with the end product. It was a wonderful assembly. Keystone Exams will be scheduled right after Thanksgiving break. Those letters will be going out to the parents of the students that will be participating in those exams. And I encourage all families to support their child by emphasizing how important it is to do well in these tests, despite the fact that really it only matters for graduation at this point. I put at each of your seats a copy of the senior project overview. For December's meeting, I would like to have a motion to adopt this new project. And at its core, this project is basically the same as what it used to be. But the emphasis now is on the combination of the career and college readiness, along with the community service aspect of it, and pulling that together with the things that they do in school to be exposed to various experiences in those areas. If you look through that packet, all of those things that you see there will be on the district's website. Some of those things have links that will actually take the student to the documents that we would be talking about. For instance, reflections for job shadowing, reflections for community service, reflections for college visits, things like that. This senior project really focuses in on that combination of those things and the artifacts that it will produce by those students going through those experiences in grades 9 through 12. By the time they reach the 12th grade, they will do a presentation to our staff, and the rubric for that presentation is also in there. And again, it focuses more on talking about how school and college career readiness and community service all pull together. So the focus isn't going to be just on a presentation, but on just the student describing what those experiences were like in grades 9 through 12, and also making sure that they have the artifacts to back that up, which tie into Act 338, which is part of the career and college readiness that's required by our schools. So if you get a chance to look down through there, I don't want to certainly read from each of those pages. But I've worked with a number of people at the high school to pull this together, and I think that it really fine-tuned what we've been doing all along. Any questions that I might be able to help anybody with?
Would there be a total of 30 hours of community service by the time the students work their way through?
Yes.
And I know we talked about this, but refresh my memory. When does this start? Are you putting this into effect for next year, starting with the 9th graders?
Yes, and it will be prorated. So in other words, this year's 11th grade will only be required for the 12th grade aspect of it. And we've talked to them and told them they can get started early and start building that so that everybody has a head start on it. This year's 10th graders will be responsible for 11th and 12th grade. If you have other questions, next month's meeting is fairly close. And you can ask me about those things, or you can email me or call me at any time.
Is this going to require to be approved or no?
Yes, it's independent of the state requirements, and we can approve it.
Okay, so we'll have that on the agenda for December. Just wanted to clarify that. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have,
Oh, I'm sorry.
oh, go ahead.
Were you done?
Almost.
Oh, sorry.
I try to keep it short.
Okay.
I do have some athletic updates as well. The start of winter sports is actually the 19th of this month. But before we talk about winter sports, I would like to offer congratulations to the KSAC All-Conference selections for volleyball. That would be Mia Tribal Eilise, Drew Whitcomb, and Lexi Ruckashell. Also, congratulations to our D9 football award winners for the AC Valley Union team. Landon Chalmers was our offensive lineman of the year. Carter Kerwin from Union was the defensive lineman of the year. And if you didn't know, Brad Dittman was chosen as the coach of the year for small schools. Mikey Card, Colton Murray, and Ryan Cooper were also chosen for the all-star team, along with the previously mentioned athletes. Our team is doing very, very well. The co-op is very, very healthy and doing well. We actually will compete against Red Bank Valley in the District 9 Small Schools Championship this Friday. I would encourage everybody that can, come to see the boys play and wish them luck if you see them.
What's the location of that, though?
Clarendon University Stadium, it starts at 7 o'clock. And that completes my report.
Thank you.
Federal program report.
We've been working diligently on our ESSER narratives and budget items, and still working on the budget, but just to update the school board, for the 21-22 school year, we're to submit the set-aside application by November 30th. So our goal is to have everything submitted. And in the 21-22 school year, we do have a new school band, K-12 school counselor, finishing off the HVAC project here at the elementary, remediation supplies, furlough prevention, after-school support, and then summer remediation, as well as the junior senior high school math coach that we talked about earlier. 22-23 school year, we have the elementary math coach, K-12 school counselor, high school math coach, remediation supplies, furlough prevention, after school supports, summer remediation supplies. We're looking at upgrading our Epson classroom projectors. We're looking to improve our document cameras for the teachers. We have some money in there to offset some of the AC Valley Cyber School costs. Technology software for both the elementary and junior senior high school, professional development, cleaning supplies, Chromebooks, and then we'll continue on with 2 part-time custodians. And then as we finish off the grant for the 23-24 school year, we have money for after-school remediation, summer school remediation supplies, additional cleaning supplies. We still have the elementary coach fit into this year, and then the AC Valley Cyber Service support that we had talked about earlier. So that's a grand total of just over $1.5 million there in ESSER. Andrew, anything you want to add?
Just that we're working this week on hopefully finishing out the narratives for the ARP after set aside, so we can get that submitted.
I do want to thank Andrew and Terry. We've been working a lot on this particular grant to get submitted, and then the next challenge will be to get the money spent out and documenting everything per ESSER. So there's a lot of work going into it, and we're working most days after school. We meet back in the boardroom. And that concludes the federal program report.
Okay, thank you. And district report.
I have a couple items to follow up with. I spent a lot of time on school safety the last couple of weeks. Dr. Stewart and myself spent some time in US 3 with Mr. Austin and a handful of students. They have a really neat project where they went out and broke their class up into teams, and then came back and reported pros and cons of our safety support system that we have in place. And they had some really good ideas. Mr. Austin had compiled a list and sent it down to me. I'll take that list and share it with the Health and Safety Committee with me on a weekly basis. And there's probably a couple items that we didn't look at. Students didn't have a different perspective. I was so intrigued that the class met on Tuesday. I went back up on Thursday and had a presentation myself. So I shared with them a lot of what we did, similar to the actual report that I presented to the school board. And they were quite impressed with the amount of effort that went into it. But it was a really great learning activity for both the students and the administration. In addition to that, I spent a day down at IU3 for the PCCD threat assessment training. And the policies that we had implemented this past year, I did get fully certified. We have 2 teams at those schools, and I'm working closely with Officer Sittler with any kind of reports. In addition to that training, I went to the campus safety conference, and the first keynote speaker was Choi. She was a FBI employee for a good number of years. She does her own safety consulting business right now, and she has over 20 years of experience with the FBI. And her focus was media, not only social media, but the media itself, and how this plays a role in school shootings. And it was kind of ironic because I just read an article that Dr. Lucas Savage had in the back office that was written in 1999, and it was stating that we've got to be so careful not to sensationalize school shootings. And she had the exact same presentation as what they talked about years ago. It's still going on. The media just won't stop covering it because it gets speeds. And she had presented information to superintendents to get out in front of it and how to contact and communicate and try to defuse situations from happening. And she provided us with a number of different strategies and techniques to use, and it was very helpful. And then the next presenter was Max Schrecker. He was from a parent from the Parkland school shooting. His son was 14 years old and was murdered. And he had a really good presentation on being preventative with using school data. And the day that the shooting went on down there, he had broken down the timeline and how the lack of communication to get the school police in there and activate their own police force had caused 17 people to get killed, 17 people to be wounded. And by the time the police went into the building, the shooter had already left, went to McDonald's and went to Burger King, and then was picked up, and they still had not entered the building. And he had a really good presentation as well. He actually created a dashboard that compiles the end of year school safety report. He did it for 4 states. Pennsylvania was one of them, of course, with another, as well as Colorado. So there's an easy to access report that I'll be sharing with the team as well as the principal. Found both presentations to be fantastic. I also did a Stop the Bleed presentation, which I'd like to get here on campus as well. At first I was a little hesitant, but they taught you how to pack a wound and then also to put a tourniquet on. And the tourniquets don't necessarily cut off the blood and the person would lose extremity. You can loosen it up to tie. But most of the school shootings, according to the presenter, people bleed out because of an extremity. So it was a good presentation, but if you can pack the wound and tie it off, and I think it'd be something that would add to our safety if you ever need it. And then the superintendent from Jeanette Area School District had talked about a shooting that took place during a football game and how they reacted to it and the processes that they put into place. So whenever I got back on campus, obviously met with Officer Sittler, and we're going to be doing some work here on campus. We've just been focused so much in COVID protocols that we kind of forgot about school safety. And right now, with the mental health concerns that we have, we're going to ramp it back up, take a look, and start doing some more planning and do more drills. And I think that's what it is. I think that all too often we get too comfortable. Moving on to the school funding lawsuit. As many people are aware, there is a trial that just started today. It's being spearheaded by PARS and a number of small rural school districts, and it actually started in 2014. The basis of this lawsuit is that Pennsylvania school districts are not being funded adequately. And it's the first time. This is a cutting edge debate that's going on. And they're having a number of testimonies over the week. And the part of their data was 50% of students who come to school are living in poverty. And some of the students that are going to school in poor school districts are not getting an adequate education. We are ranked 46 out of 50 in the United States with school funding. So that'll be interesting to see it moving forward. Just finishing off with cyber school, I am participating in a cyber school reform virtual discussion on Friday, November 19th at noon. Myself, superintendent from Conneaut School District, Grove City, Chestnut Ridge, Altoona, Northern Bedford, and Hollidaysburg. And we're all going to present data associated with how cyber charter schools are impacting the budget locally. The purposes for anecdotal evidence. And I'm going to share with you a little bit of information that I was able to pull up through five sites. In 2010, AC Valley spent just over $15,000 for students to go to outside cyber school. And in 2021, we're projected to spend just under $40,000 per student. Out of the local area, Venango and Clarion area, we spent more than any other school. The second school closest to us, Forest area, they're about $34,000, and then right around $30,000 per year would be Valley Grove. And I have data associated with that I will be presenting, but each school district that I mentioned has a unique opportunity to share their story. Part of the issue too is whenever the cyber schools create their budget, they send out a PDE 363 form, and each school to fill it out, number of students, the overall budget, and a number of other factors that go into it, and that's used to dictate the cost of the sending school. Keep in mind that for a good number of years, there was $1 million that came through to go with the Mid-Atlantic youth, and it was a pass-through money. It never impacted students at AC Valley, and that $1 million was used in there to overinflate the 363. And that's part of the reason why our costs are so high. I'm also going to make the argument that I personally do not feel that cyber schools are actually charter schools. And I have some data to present from Governor Ridge, who created the charter school movement back in 1996, talking about creative and innovative educational practices. And AC Valley does the exact same thing as what these outside cyber charters are doing. And this up and coming school year, we're looking at paying over $900,000 for 34 students who are in outside cyber school. So I'll send out the link if anybody's free Friday afternoon and noon. If you don't have anything else to do, it'll probably be pretty interesting anyways. But I'm honored to be able to present and represent AC Valley. And to me, that concludes my report.
Great, thank you. So we don't have a school police report?
Not the big.
Okay, so we need to do this motion, consideration to reapprove the girls and boys track athletic cooperative agreement with corrections between the Allegheny Clarion Valley School District and the Union School District, starting with the 2021-2022 school year and continuing through the 2023-2024 school year as attached. So moved.
Okay.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. All right, and you have the district enrollment numbers in your packet. Diane, would you do policy, please?
Sure. Consideration to approve the first reading of policy number 717, cellular telephones is attached. So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Oops, sorry. Are you, sorry, Kelly, I skipped you. Can we start that again? All of those in favor? Aye. All of those opposed? Abstentions? Kelly, were you for or against this one?
I am for. Sorry, there's a big lag here from me speaking and you guys hearing it.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I take a pause, but I didn't hear anything from you that time. So, okay, so you're for. All right, so motion carries.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
B, consideration to approve the first reading of policy number 209.1, headlights, bed bugs, fleas, as attached. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. All right, facilities. Mr. Milford, do you have a report to me, sir?
It's some old business. You guys approved the Eagle Scout project with CJ Richardson, and I recommended something last couple months ago about it CJ worked on the Eagle Scout project. We bought the benches. He helped us assemble them. He coordinated the effort of getting all the forms built and poured the concrete, and then he helped us anchor the benches down. He poured us a couple extra pads, so we made more way put a couple more benches on. We had some fire alarm trouble here at the high school. We had a short in one of the wires, and we had tough time finding it. We had to pull a new wire to one area that was in the cafeteria area here, short wire somewhere. So we just kept making alarm go off, and Mrs. Sherman loved that alarm being on go off every 5 minutes. Trouble signal. It got taken care of. We had a rooftop unit in the high school cafeteria give us some trouble. Domestic hot water blower down here at the high school. For the elementary schools, we have to put a control board in. We're still working on the controls in this school. We're here tonight working. James put the stamp spreader in the back of the truck on Friday, thinking it was going to snow or something.
That's blasphemy.
And we got the bleachers off the parking lot. We couldn't wait much longer. Had to get them off. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Milford. Any questions for Mark? All right, great. All right, moving on to transportation. Corey, will you do that, please?
Sure. All right, letter A, consideration to retroactively approve the 2021-2022 van contract with Randy McClendon Incorporated dated July 1st, 2021 for 2018 Chevy Trax as attached. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
All right, letter B, consideration to retroactively approve the request from Pam Myers Transportation Incorporated to add a 2011 Honda Odyssey to her fleet. So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Megan, will you do miscellaneous, please?
Sure. Letter A, you guys have approved your snow report?
Yeah, our last meeting was fairly quiet. We did have a meeting afterwards to discuss the subsidy money that we had talked to you guys about. Still working on some of the numbers. One suggestion was figuring out what we would need per year, taking that right off the top, and then using the same formula to distribute it to the schools as we use now. So that was one suggestion, but still in the works. We're still looking at numbers and estimates on what the school needs and all of that stuff. So still an ongoing discussion.
Thank you. I'm assuming we don't have an IU report,
No.
but the copy of the board notes are attached on the board here. C, do we have any correspondence?
No correspondence, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Any update from the technology committee?
We have not met.
Okay. Athletic committee update?
Not met.
No. And no finance committee update. So that wraps it up for me.
Excellent, you did a great job. All right, is there any old business?
I'd just like to thank Mark and Jen and Lena for all the work that they put into the school board. This is their last meeting. We spent a lot of years together, and great people could have asked for a better school board to work with over the years, and what we've done here at AC Valley has been fantastic. So thank you all. I hate to see you go, but understand why you're leaving.
Well, thank you. I just wanted to say to everybody, you know, it's a little bittersweet. I've been on here 15 years almost now, and I have to say, and I know I said this the last time, and I'm not kidding you, this is the best group that in 15 years I've worked with. I think that some of you came in the worst time possible, and God love you, you picked up and you learned and you put the work into it. And so thank you so much for that. And I hope that, I just wish the best for the board coming on. And I know that they'll do great things, or I might have to hurt someone. you know, and I do, I really wish good things and I know it will be good. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We appreciate your guidance and your leadership.
And your process.
Yes. Well, thank you. I tried. I think that's one of the reasons David and I have worked so well together for so long is we kind of have the same leadership style and it's really worked for us as a team. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any new business? All right, and we have no executive session tonight, correct? Okay, so would someone like to make the motion to adjourn?
I make a motion we adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Aye. Okay. Thank you all.
Bye, ladies.